guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm introducing a new, really cool new finding, and this is a beaded box cap. And it's a loom finding, but it will work for other things besides loom. I think it's going to work for a lot of stitches, and I'll walk you through everything that it can be used for, and I'm also going to demo attaching it to a loom design. And so what these are, 3 finishes are available. This one is a polished pewter. There's a gold and a copper. 2 sizes, and each finish is available in both sizes. There's a size that's made for 11/0, and then there's a size that's made for 8/0 seed beads. And what I usually do when I'm trying to decide how many beads to use per, per box, the best way to do that is to get a needle. Let me show you guys really quick what I mean. And working with the larger box finding, so here's the one for size 8/0. Grab the 8/0 seed beads that you're going to be using. And I'm about to show a design that was made with 8/0 Miyuki seed beads. But you can use any beads you'd like, and you can, if you want, you can mix up your sizes. So for example, I have some that have used 8/0 with the small finding, and the way you do that is you build a row of 11/0, and then you build 8/0 on top of that. And in the case of this one, you could use 11/0. It would just use, it would be a pretty wide band. So I already know that 12 is about the number that works. 11 or 12, depending on how wide your seed beads are when you string them. And when it comes to seed beads, there's a lot of variation. So just know that you could get a different number than me, so it's good to test. Here's 4, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. And what I do is I just line them up on my needle. So just like that, and then get your box and see how they fit. And so for me, I'm looking at this saying, yeah, 12 is going to be good. I want to note though that this is going to be a snug fit, and that's good, and I'll show you why in a second. But 12 beads across, once you get this, for example, in a loom design, any kind of design where those threads are going to be running in between every bead, it's going to make it just a little bit wider. So make sure there's air. And what I mean by air is, see how you can kind of see the silver of my needle there? You want to be able to see that between the beads. If it was really tight, if you were like really cinching it up super, super tight, maybe go 1 less bead. If it's looking like this on you where you can't see the silver, take 1 bead off and work with 1 less bead. So you do have to kind of design your project to fit. That said, it's forgiving. For example, you could loom a row that's just wide enough to fit the box and then increase afterward. Really easy to do with other stitches like peyote and things like that. So looming, you can also do it. Another thing you can do, as I was mentioning earlier with the 8/0 box caps versus the 11/0, is you can take one of these and build a 11/0 row, and then build all your 8/0 rows after that, and it'll hide the 11/0 row inside the smaller cap. The real difference is in this width right here. So this one is designed to be wide enough that you can get, and let me bring this over. This is one I'm going to finish here in this video. It's wide enough to get the beadwork into it, right? But with 11/0 finding, the 8/0 won't snuggle down into the box completely. It'll just kind of sit on the outside. So you do need to put a row of 11/0 in there if you're not working entirely with 11/0. But that's the gist of it. And then of course, get creative and try stuff. I always tell folks to try things because seed beads are different. You know, sizing is different. Depending what you're using, you might get a different result. So in this video, I'm going to finish this design. I've already done one side. I'm going to show you how I went from that to that. We'll finish the other end. Really pretty and very, very polished looking finish, I feel like. Okay, so all you need at this point is just the end bar, and this comes in the pack. This is the little insert that goes inside the box, and it is the base that you stitch your end to. And I wanted to also say that if you're someone who doesn't like to weave in your ends, so what I mean by that is when you loom, you have, in the case of my design here, I had 13 warp threads on both sides, exiting from every bead, and I enjoy weaving them in. I have a method where I pull through, and I have a separate video on that, but I went ahead and did all that work here. I wove them in, and now I just have this edge which has these threads showing. And so the cool thing is the box will cover that, so it's a good thing. But it is possible, if you didn't want to weave in your warps, you could just take 2 warp threads and knot it to the bar, and do that all the way down here, and just tie knots. Maybe put a little dot of glue on your knot, and trim those ends so that they're shorter than about 2 millimeters or so, each end from every knot, and you could hide that inside of the box cap. And so I have a few I did that way, but I like to show this method because it just looks really cool. And I'm also someone who enjoys weaving in my ends, so this is, again, just one way you could do it. It really is sky's the limit. And also, this is a loom design, but like, for example, what if this was a peyote stitch design? This method will work for all those kind of stitches. It'll basically work for anything like a right angle weave, anything where the beads are running this way. You're just gonna come out of the bead, go through the bar, and then either go through the same bead or the next bead, depending what kind of stitch you're working on. And then also consider that if it was like brick stitch or a brick stitch flowing into herringbone, you could just build that directly onto the bar, like brick stitch onto it. You could do increases so that that first row stays this width, and then you could fan it out. It really is, there's so much you can do. And then all of that starting work, the part of our beadwork that is always, the part where it doesn't always look perfect, right? Well, this covers it up. So that's what I like about it. Makes it really easy. So this is the reason it was designed really is because that first row of loom work, no matter how you do it, weaving in, whatever, you always kind of feel like it's not perfect. And I've always felt like that. So that's where this idea was born. And so I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. And I'm going to try really hard to stay on camera. And I'm just going to show how to stitch it to the bar. So this is my remaining thread that I had from when I did the design. I kept a long strand. The rest, again, I wove in, but this is just the remaining one. And for this side, I'm just, exiting along the side of the bead there. I think this is actually the side warp, which just ended up being my longest strand. And I'm just gonna go through the bar. So just like that. And the way I like to do it is I'll skip the bead that I'm coming out of and go through the next one. So let's go through this one. And don't worry if the bar slides around on you. It's gonna do that a lot, especially the first few stitches, but once you've got through that, and then just go through the bar again. All right, you go through the next bead. So just like that. And when I'm doing this, actually, I have a little method where I hold it and lift it up. It makes it easy for me to get through the bar. Yeah. Through the next bead. Bring it through. So that's what we got so far. Go through the next one. And I'm coming up through the bar from behind. I'm mainly doing that so that for filming, so you can see what I'm doing. But it doesn't actually matter if you want to go through the bar this way, you can do that. I just find it easier to show if I do it this way. All I'm doing is exiting a bead, going through the bar, and then just stitching through the next bead. I'll do that all the way down. And don't worry if while you're working, if your bar is sliding a little bit on you, like this, it's gonna move a little bit. It's okay. All right, almost to the end here. And last one. When you get to that last one, the last bead, you can turn and go back through the edge. And if you want, just go through all the beads, make that strong there. I usually just go all the way through. And there it is. I'm gonna go through the bar one more time. And back through all the beads. This time, I'm just gonna exit from, I don't know, say, wherever my needle kind of wants to come out. And from here, I'm gonna weave it in. So I'm just gonna go down through, this is that method where you pick up a weft thread in the maybe 3 rows. So you see how we're kind of going under. The weft thread is, again, that's that thread that's running this way through the beads. So I'm just picking up 3 just to get me out of the way from, you know, everything we have going on here. So down here, go through some beads. It doesn't matter how many, just, you know, however many you want. And this is how I did my weaving in for all the weft thread and the remaining warp that I didn't use for the closure. Just like that. I'm gonna do that one more time. And there we go. I usually just pick up 3, but you can pick up however many you want. It really kind of doesn't matter. And here we go. All right, so let's just trim this end here. And you didn't cut or burn it. It doesn't matter which way. Okay. All right, so there's that end. And see, it's a really nice secure attachment. It doesn't look beautiful. You wouldn't want your jewelry like to end like that, right? But you're not gonna see it in a few seconds here. So I'm gonna get a jump ring. Grab my pliers here, sorry about that. So I'm just getting my jump ring ready. It's open. And here's our box top. Bring that through. It's gonna help it get through. Now this fit, I promised I would talk about the tight fit. That's by design, because I didn't want it to have wiggle room so that it would be like moving sideways. It would still work and it would still look cool. But if you do it so that's a nice tight fit like that, you get a really cool perfect end. And so see the little loop here is kind of protruding from the top. You can grab your jump ring, go through it. And then if you're doing a clasp attachment at that spot, go ahead and add that. Close it up. There we go. There it is. And so, I mean, it just looks so nice. It's such a great finish. It's a nice way to end your work. And I'm going to be showing lots of videos like this that'll show other kinds of stitching. I've already done a sample. I know I need to make another one and film it, but the first time I attempted putting a peyote stitch on the edge, it worked beautifully. It covered up all of the edge of the peyote. So even though, you know, the edge of peyote, you have like up beads and stuff, you don't see that row. So it just makes it look like it's just coming out of the box, right? And I also have a dream of trying right angle weave, because all you would do is just, you know, those edge beads, you just attach them. You could even have like 2 layers. I don't know, so many cool things. And then of course I mentioned earlier, brick stitch off the bar, increase 1 row of brick stitch, start doing herringbone, or just keep going brick stitch. I mean, and earrings, you could do earrings. That would be another really cool idea. So this is 8/0 seed beads again. And I'm using the 8/0 finding, which is shown here in gold and copper, but it's also available in a silver color, which is a brushed pewter, or polished. It's brushed and then polished, so it is a really gorgeous one. It looks nice with our stainless collection. It also looks really nice with antique silver. So, and that color looks like this. This one is the 11/0 size. And there they are. So you can find these on johnbead.com wholesale. I will also put a bunch of retail links in the description. And so loom findings, but not just for loom. Use lots of different stuff. And keep your eyes peeled. There's going to be more inspiration. This is just the basic idea that started it all. Okay. How cool is that? It's just a really great way to finish your work. So I'm happy with how this one came out. I love the ombre. It's really cool. Copper is obviously going to be my favorite. But try all the finishes. Yeah, let me know what you think. And I want to wish you guys lots of creativity and happy beading.